welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the Wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun, meaning we'll talk about anything and everything. So if you're a first-time viewer, you can feel free to ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can always send an email to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all the silliness, has all the links for all the social medias and, Discord, all that. So join us there. And of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. Of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, tasteful, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also on wayofthebrush.com. And of course, because it's lots of fun seeing the monkeys and, everything like that. Also at wayofthebrush.com is a link for Patreon support. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, continued work on this channel just wouldn't be possible, and so a huge thank you. I'm independent these days, so, it's a source of income, and, if you want to help keep this channel going and be a part of something, I fully, wholeheartedly support that, so, and of course I have varying tiers of support, for any kind of budget. With varying levels of, perks. We'll just say perks. So, Patreon support. And if you're not able to support monetarily, clicking the thumbs up, liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, all that other stuff, following, everything like that, that all helps as well. And, huge one is sharing the video. Sharing the video is another huge one. So that all helps and, keeps the channel going. So if you're not able to support by money, there's more than one way you can help. You can help Kris out. You can help a brother out. Help a brother out, please. Another big thank you is to our good buddy, Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl for taking time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. So, always much love for Carl. Always. Until I stop, using the jingles, which I'm in no hurry to stop using. It's not even a fact. Oh, another one is, I say, bad brother. And of course, always a big thank you to my brother, Evan, for creating the jingle that plays at the very intro of the ending of the show. And so, yeah. Always much love. Who's joining us right now? I can see Lord Krabby, Sup Matterflowers, Charles Sales. Good morning, monkeys. From LVO, about to start round 4. Start round 4. Yeah, I caught. I follow Warhammer TV on Twitch, and I seen that they had like the first rounds, and it was like late in the day. But I realized Las Vegas is a few hours behind where I'm currently. So, yeah. But very cool. That like I've seen some of the people that I follow and stuff like that. They're posting pictures from LVO, and it looks to be quite large this year. I seen like the gaming hall, huge. It seems like that event is growing every year. So that's good. That's good. I'd like to attend. Looks like fun. Although the thing is that I'm a man of many vices. And I'm afraid now, mind you, this is me. I don't get afraid about shit, but I'm afraid if I go there, I'll get myself in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it probably happened though. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, Kris and peeps. Morning. Augmented Frequency. Ooh, that's a fun name. I don't think I've read that name before, so welcome. Hi, Kris. Hi, gang. Hi. Augmented frequency. Deep. Deep. Mad Maxim 81. Hey, Kris and monkeys. Thanks for the input on my Sector Imperialis ruins a few episodes ago. Today, I'm putting together squig hoppers for my Gloomspike Gitz Age of Sigmar army. Squigs are great. Squigs are really awesome. I like squigs. In fact, I was watching Warhammer TV had done like a preview of like the licensed properties and stuff like that. And I always chime in about plush nurglings because anybody who's been listening to me for a while knows I want plush nurglings. I want plush nurglings. But close seconds are squigs, little squigs, right? Little plushy squig. That'd be hilarious, right? And of course, the little fire demons for Tzeentch, the little brimstones. I think those would be hilarious as little plushies. And rippers, Tyranid rippers, right? I think those would be hilarious as plushies as well. But nurglings, I want nurglings, and I want like a few variations of a nurgling so that you can put them in a little nurgling pile of plushies. You know what I mean? And they don't have to be huge. And I mean, like it's kind of funny that GW has not jumped on the bandwagon because I mean, like I think last Depticon or Depticon beforehand. Hold on. I picked up when I was still an avid Privateer Press War Machine player, and these little guys were always just too much fun. And this is little plushie, right? And I mean, like a little nurgling. Like, can you imagine a little nurgling like this guy? Like, just be too freaking adorable. Like, come on. Like, I don't understand. Like this has appeal all over the place. I mean, not pee all over the place, but appeal. And, like these would just be too much fun. Ooh, what the hell? Some schmutz in his mouth. And so, yeah, I mean, plush nurglings, brimstones, rippers, squigs, even little goblins. Sure, why not, right? Like, what's not to love about this stuff? So, yeah. Kevin Cabal. Hello, happening hobbyist. Hello. Scott Radum. Radum. Hey, yo. Snidely 666. Ooh, 666. Hello, Kris and monkeys. Hello. Harry. LOL. I just got back from Vegas last night. Came back from SHOT Show. From SHOT Show? From Shit Show or SHOT Show? I don't know what that is. SHOT Show? From SHOT Show. I don't know what that means. Or are you saying it was a shit show? It was a shit show? I mean, I imagine Vegas is pretty wild time. It looks like a lot of fun. I mean, like, I'm not adverse to gambling either. So, I'd spend a little bit of money. I check out the sites, landmarks. I mean, I realize it's a city in the middle of nowhere, but, there's lots to see. And, to go to the LVO would be, a lot of fun, be relevant, So, yeah, I haven't been. And I actually was planning earlier this summer. I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I'll do LVO this year. And then circumstances changed. And so, and then it kind of, got on the back burner because, other things take priority, right? So, but next year, maybe. Next year. I don't know if I'll do anything like classes or anything like that. Honestly, like, people ask about the painting classes and like, going to these conventions and doing painting classes. It's such a freaking hassle carting around a bunch of shit. And, well, maybe if I was more focused, I suppose, on, like, what the subject matter was for the class, I could bring, a certain amount of stuff. And I keep shaking the table here. If it feels like it's vibrating, it's because I'm shaking the table. But anyway, if I was a bit more focused as far as what I was going to showcase, but everybody kind of does everything already. And it, you know what I mean? Like there's already, like for Adepticon, there's like 100 artists doing classes. And like for them are doing the same thing. And it's redundant. It's redundant, and you know, and I mean, like, each artist, yes, has something to offer, right? Because each artist is going to do things slightly different. Maybe their mastery in a particular technique and the way they do things is different, and you know what I mean? Like, there's many variables. But for me, I mean, like, you know, I've been putting out tons of tutorials. I've got a backlog of tutorials I've already done, and, you know, I'm going to create more. And so if anybody really wants, you know, an education from me, well, I mean, all they need to do is just, you know, tap into the library of videos that I've created already, and you're going to already be far better off than most. So, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not geared. I'm not really fired up for classes. I'm just, because I got to bring a whole bunch of shit with me, you know. Bleh, 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 bleh. Where am I? Paul Greer, did you finish your Bone Grinder Cult Gang? No, I have not finished them. I've got like 1.5 dudes to do, and I'll be done. So, yeah. Scale Model Muse wanders in with coffee and sits down. Hi, all. Hi. Mad Maxim 81. Kris, what do you think of all the Warhammer reveals from Las Vegas opened yesterday? I think the new AdMech stuff looks incredible, and I cannot wait to add it to my army. The AdMech stuff, it's kind of cool. I like the horsies. Those are fun. I'm not sure, like, why mechanical horsies are AdMech. You know, like, why wouldn't just be mechanical horsies for Rough Riders, for Imperial Guard, right? Or some sort of bionic stripped down version of bionic horsies or something like that. You know, it's just, I don't know, like, what kind of vibe are they going for the AdMech? Like, what is the overarching theme for what their aesthetic is, right? They can make robots for the sake of making robots. You know what I mean? Like for example, okay, like, there's simple design aesthetics at play, typically. Space Marines have very few curvatures, more flat angles. Imperium stuff has a lot of flat angle stuff, very few curvatures. For the Mechanicum, the big tall robot duders who got the big Ed 209 gun arms, those guys have a lot of curvature to them. Maybe as a callback to a time when, you know, the technology was more advanced, right? Kind of like if you look at some of the Horus Heresy stuff, how there's more curvatures in there because having those curvatures denotes a more mastery over technology, right? Whereas boxy is more akin to the Dark Imperium, where, you know, like, it's the Dark Ages. They don't know how to create new things. They don't know how to maintain things. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's all these reasons why it's very blocky and very primitive looking, right? Just primitive shapes. Versus Eldar, where you have a lot of curvatures, inside curvatures, and, you know what I mean? Like, lots of negative space within shapes, asymmetry, you know what I mean? Keeps it all alien feeling, but has a very distinct aesthetic. Mechanicum, I think that they're still kind of working out the aesthetic. And so, like, the dudes with the wings and that new flyer thing. The new flyer thing is really cool. I like that. I wouldn't get one myself, but it's really cool. The backpack guys with the wings, they're pretty cool. I wouldn't get them. And the bionic horsey dudes, they're cool, but, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't understand what exactly is the aesthetic they're going for, because are they, like, do they not have a mastery? Like, aren't these guys the masters of human technology? Like, wouldn't their shit look better than the Imperium stuff? Right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't get it. The High Elf stuff for Age of Sigmar, very, very cool. I don't know if it's enough to get me into them, but one thing I did see was the hero, the big hero, not the one with the monster thingy and he's floating in the air, the other guy, the suit. I saw that, and I immediately was hopeful that when GW eventually gets around, hopefully in the near future, they get around to doing the Phoenix Lords. I hope they do them like that, where they look like empty suits. Because in the lore, it always describes, and one story describes how the suit is basically empty, and basically just the Exarch is kind of like just absorbed into the suit and becomes, and the Spirit Stone becomes part of the suit, and you know what I mean? Like, Phoenix Lords are just empty suits, right? And I hope that's what they do. And he looks pretty big, and I'm hoping that when they redo Phoenix Lords, they do him like that, like a big model, looks like an empty suit. And of course, you know, I mean, like, with the way they sculpt things nowadays, you know, like, they can do anything. Can you imagine, you know? Well, I guess Jane's already got a resculpt, right? And it's not like that. That's kind of disappointing. Like, you know, I kind of hope that they would do something really fun like that, you know? Anyway. But yeah, as far as the AdMech stuff, Zote's pretty cool. That's fun. Nice callback, you know. It seems like that Dark Fortress. Anyway, that seems to be where they're drawing all the nostalgia back in, which is kind of cool. Aaron Seach, howdy, Kris and Monkeys, happy Saturday. What's everyone working on? What is everybody working on? What are you working on? Lord Krabby, jogging at the moment while listening to the stream. Oh, cool, out for a jog, good job. Scale Model Muse, working on a truck at the moment, 55 Ford F100 Street Rod. Cool. You know, I'm heading, I'm after the show, I'm wrapping the show up at a good time today, usual type of time. And I'm going to be heading out, and I think I'm going to stop by and have a look at some models. I've been hankering to do a scale model, and I think I might pick up like a Sherman or something like that, and you know, putz away on one of those. So I might make a little post about it. So stay tuned. Harry, SHOT Show is a gun MFG convention. Oh, okay. SHOT Show. Oh, literally SHOT Show. Okay, I got you. I thought it was like shit show. Cool. Yeah, because Vegas, they have big. I mean, I realize America has tons of, you know, gun conventions, but that's cool. Fire Drake 18. What's up, mother truckers? Oh, mother truckers. You almost got me. I almost said full word. Yippee-ki-yay. Dr. Santos. What are people working on? I got 50 minis to paint for Kings of War. Oof. Paul Greer, did they roll out new Orc Boss? Yeah, it looks like Gazgal's getting an update. They hinted at. Lord Clint, I'm going to start painting Hero Quest Mercenaries. Ever since seeing Kris and Ash and some other unmentionables playing through the first 14 quests, I went out and got it and all the expansions. Nostalgia. I'm actually thinking about doing a little video about nostalgia, because I've been getting the nostalgia bug lately. And so I'm thinking about doing a video. In fact, I probably will film it tomorrow. It's just something. Yeah, nostalgia. Anyway, and other unmentionables. Wasn't that Owen and Adam? How are they unmentionable? Barris P. Curvature. Better material engineering. Better statics design. Box. Simpler idea. Harder to make mistakes. Sure, right? But the mechanic can have the better technology. They use robots that have all sorts of crazy doodads and, you know what I mean, robotics, and you know what I mean, like they're supposed to be the guys who have the best human technology. They're like, it's like Q from James Bond, right? Like they have all the toys, right? So I don't understand why they're, you know, like I'm not understanding the aesthetics of what they're going for, because it's almost like almost like a techno barbarian. Yeah, that's what it is. It's techno barbarian type of mechanicum looking stuff, and I'm not sure what exactly the vibe they're going for, you know. I don't know. That's just me. That's just my opinion. Some people love it. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not something I would rush out to go buy. You know. Hail Bop over on Twitch. Hey yo! If they redo Phoenix Lords, they won't be empty suits like the Age of Sigmar model. Janzar is still in space spandex, right? But she still could be an empty suit. At least, like as far as the lore is concerned, they you know, it can still fully be sealed. It's just, you know, if you cut the arm off and it's empty, right? So, you know, but I just like that look, how that suit, he's just a suit. And in fact, that's the kind of thing they should be doing more with, like, Thousand Sons. They should be doing that look for, like, if they had like a Thousand Sons character, like Airman. If they did, but Airman's still a dude, isn't he? He's not a ghost like the rest of the Thousand Sons. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, there should still be more floatiness, and, you know, the way they've been making things really floaty these days, and, you know, just really fantastic model design, you know, and, you know, just, I don't know. I think what it is it's probably the pace in which they're designing stuff. And, you know, I think GW, without slowing down production, because you can't slow down now, right? You can't slow down now. But I think they definitely need to chew their food a little bit more before swallowing, and you know, let things digest. You know what I mean? And really kind of get a cohesive vision, because some things just feel kind of, you know. But mind you, though, I mean, like, I imagine that, you know, before we even see any kind of hints at what is coming down, that's like at least a year, 2 years, you know, in the development, right? So, you know, and I'm sure that they're happy with it, you know. I don't know. It's not something I would be all fired up for, though. Hail Bob, you mean Malric? Not Gazgul. Well, yeah, he's he's his partner. It's Gazgul. It's Gazgul's little buddy. Barris P, yeah, but maybe certain tech is frozen in religion, or we're analyzing this more than GW did. Definitely. Fans definitely overanalyze whatever they're you know, they're fanatic about, right? Star Wars, Star Trek, anything, you know, Doctor Who, right? The tendency for fans to overanalyze because we're all, you know, very passionate about these things, and, you know, there's certain things, especially when they leave on mysteries and stuff like that we all sit there and speculate on, right? And in this day and age, you know, there's not a lot of mystery. Everybody wants everything explained, and you don't have to. You don't have to explain it, especially within fiction. Within sci-fi, you don't have to explain everything. You don't. And in fact, I think it's better if you don't, you know, because mystery keeps people gum flapping about certain aspects of the stuff that they love, right? So you don't have to frickin' explain everything away. You know, I realize that there's people out there with very short attention spans, and who lack the cranial capacity to speculate and let something be a mystery, right? That apparently triggers people of a certain brainwave, that they can't leave that alone. And you know what? I say too bad, because some things are mystery, and in fact, provoking your curiosity is what makes humans distinctly human. Hail Bob, the actual sorcerers in Thousand Sons are still dudes inside. The basic duders are Ash. Oh, well, that's boring. I thought Airman just did the whole chapter. And he just, you're all ghosts now. I saved you all. I saved you by destroying you all. Where am I? Fire Drake 18. I heard GW was moving to more mainstream with the IP, also lore updates and changes. Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, like, because they want to be more commercially viable, because they want to expand into more markets. Because realistically, wargaming, miniature wargaming, is a very small market. It's the niche within a niche within a niche within a niche. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very small market. Very small. And, you know, they're a company. They've got shareholders. they've got to bust into new markets. They've got to innovate, and they got to, get their name out there. It's unfortunate that they've waited till now, because, they could have totally did it back in the 90s. They should have been on this path since the 90s, I would argue. Mike Grimshaw, take care of your brushes and they'll take care of you equals you must master your tool like a fisherman masters bait. I like it. It's nice and lowbrow for me. Good stuff. Johnny's Chop Shop. What happens if you are using a butt plug and fart? Fucking, you blow out your kidneys, I think. I would imagine anyway. Excellent question, though. Excellent question. And as I've said at the beginning of the show, there are no dumb questions. Or wait, did I say that in the beginning of the show? I usually say that at the beginning of the show. I don't think I said that today. But, yeah. Sir Peanut Butter. I'm impressed they managed to restrain themselves on the high elves, but I'm not a fan of the AdMech stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, the high elf stuff, okay, where I think, like, they're on the right path, especially with Age of Sigmar, like, definitely a lot of their effort and a lot of their brain power is going to Age of Sigmar. 40K, it's like they're going through the notes. Something, right? But Age of Sigmar, their brains are on they're running at 105%, right? Capacity. Their reactors at 105%. And they're pushing it. And they're and so bravo, hats off to all the designers for Age of Sigmar. Awesome stuff that they're doing. Because their shit is really creative. And the high elves, the basic troopers, the guys with just the spears, look freaking awesome. Like I said, like, it's almost enough to get me into them, but then I'd be like, it's freaking elves, man. Like, you know what I mean? Enough with the freaking elves. Like, I almost went with the Slayers, because I love dwarf Slayers, but there's not enough of them. Like, there's not enough poses, and there's not enough variety within the army that I'm just kind of meh. Deepkin I like because it's completely different, and it's an excuse to play within colorful color schemes and do all sorts of interesting stuff. Like, I still have, like, all my shit on my brain for doing my Deepkin is still sitting there. It's like little tumors developing in my fucking brain, want to get out, and I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been trying to take care of other crap, right? So I need an assistant. I need an apprentice. Because eventually, too, I do need an apprentice, because eventually these will go, and these will go. My eyes, they'll all go, and I'll just be this decrepit little thing sitting in a chair. Do that. You're doing it wrong. And I'll have a little ruler or something and just... Anyway. Jabba's Left Nut, episode 280. Let's talk about barbarian nipples. Like... barbarian nipples. I'm working on this guy for our D&D campaign. I did a live stream on Twitch yesterday. For anybody who missed that one, I'll be posting it on YouTube next week some point. But yeah, I didn't get any more done on him. At the end of that stream yesterday, I said I probably will come back on and stream some more work on this. I never came back online or to the stream. I actually got distracted by the monkeys because we started playing Talisman last night, and I wasn't able to finish the game, and apparently Stinky's old lady won. So, congrats. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Kris, did you even watch the trailer? Gazgul is the sidekick. Okay, excuse me. Aaron Siege, finally Gazgul getting a new model. Great. What about Pedro? You fucking killing me, GW. No, Pedro. But okay, but here's the question. Pedro Cantor, right? Is he in Primaris armor, or is he in Gravis armor, or some other crazy ass Space Marine within Space Marine type of armor? I think doing him in Gravis armor would be consistent with, how they portray chapter masters and, shit like that, right? So I think Pedro Cantor would be awesome in Gravis armor, update, with his big back banner, power fist, right? Stormbolter, all the skulls on his knuckles, laurels on his helmet, and just in a great looking Crimson Fist type of heroic pose. I would snap that model up like that in an instant. I haven't even finished my Pedro Cantor. I still have my Pedro Cantor. He's fine cast though, and it was kind of pissed me off because I got him around the changeover when they did the fine cast, and I was looking for the metal model, and I was like, screw it, I'll just get the fine cast, and I got the fine cast, and I was like, it's fine cast. There's no weight to it, He's still on a 25 mil base. Anyway. Lord Clint, nostalgia videos, eh? I like the sound of that. Good for old folks like us. Yeah, well, definitely. Okay. Spoiler. I have a stack of white dwarves, and I was gonna talk a little bit about that. I was a bit inspired by Ash had done a video talking about previous white dwarves because he had busted out the old Citadel annuals, and yeah, you want to talk nostalgia. Holy shit, going through and flipping through some of them old sculpts, going through an old white dwarf, and yeah, so that's what I was. Anyway, Dr. Xantos, the ones stronger in psychic powers got even stronger, and the weaker ones turned to dust. There's even a dreadnought that no one has dared to ask if he's dust or not. Yeah, wouldn't he just die? Or I guess he's magical essence, so yeah, I guess he would just stay within a suit, right? Toby Kernis, Duck, Dark Commission, episode 280, blowing out your kidneys. Blowing out your kidneys, man. That's what it's. That's just twisted, I think. I love it. So yeah, we're running with it. It's blowing out your kidneys today. People who just passively walk by and look at the title of the show and it's like, what the frick is he talking about? Blowing out the kidneys. Oh, Toby Curtis regarding the butt plug. Duck. Oh, I got you. Fart with the butt plug. Duck. Right. Barris B. Sci-fi mystery. I certainly agree. I'm a scientist. Became one because of sci-fi, but now I can't get into most of them because they over-explain, and to me, they're wrong in funny ways. Well, of course, yeah. I mean, when you're in the know, it's like watching doctor shows when you've worked in the health field, right? When you are, part of that real world, and of course, when they make fiction about it, because they've got to drama it up, right? And so it gets ridiculous, and things happen for plot, right? So it's always for plot. And whenever you're watching stories, always remember that it's plot, characters and plot, and that's it, And the rules can be changed at any point to facilitate plot, right? So that's why it always happens in Star Trek and Star Wars and all these things. Plot. It always services plot. So anyway, but yeah, they over-explain and a lot of exposition, and you know what I mean? Come on, no, you can leave things as a mystery. You know what I mean? Like for example, I just watched the Picard episode. What was that? Thursday? What is today? Saturday? Yeah, watched Picard because it premiered over here Thursday nights in Canada. And I enjoyed it, but I already guessed that girl was Data's daughter by the time she showed up at his house. From their conversation, initially when they're standing in Picard's backyard. And spoiler. Oh yeah, spoiler. That she's Data's daughter, or she's an offspring of, the positronic, Sung's android designs, right? And so it's just all, you know what I mean? Not that I'm disappointed in the show or anything, because I really do like how, they are staying kind of true to some of the next gen mythos, and and even kind of getting into a bit of even discovery, explaining where that dangerous AI comes from. And you know what I mean? Like, is that where we're going with all of this? And this is to kind of, bring kind of discovery or keep discovery kind of relevant. And, so I don't know. We'll find out as the show goes on. Grim, the AdMech stuff is okay, but I think it would be more fun if they allowed more cybernetica from 30k into 40k, more robots. Definitely, there should definitely be more robots, right? Because they should, like the AdMech should always be teetering on what is acceptable within the rest of the Imperium, right? Because the AdMech should be more logical, whereas the Imperium has become this religious dogma, right? And the AdMech should be more logical. And in fact, they should all actually have, digital cogitators in their head secretly. And that's how they're able to do all their crap, right? Because they're actually breaking the rules of the Imperium of using artificial intelligence and stuff like that, right? It should always be that they're at the cusp of heresy. Excuse me. Teresa O'Neill, Age of Sigmar needs the serious support after such a hard start. Yes. The models are gorgeous and have been for the last year. The game absolutely needed the push. Definitely. I don't know about the game needing the push, but definitely the models. And I think as long as they keep putting, their effort into designing fantastic looking models for Age of Sigmar, that will perpetuate the game forward. Yeah. They don't really need to push things too hard. Keep the rules, pretty balanced and stuff like that. And I think Age of Sigmar is really cool because, Games Workshop can go anywhere they want with it. It's entirely their brainchild and, well, pretty much, right? And, they can do whatever. And and everybody who wants them to return to Warhammer Fantasy, stop living in the past, man. Stop living in the past. Lord Krabby, going back to Age of Sigmar, just playing Nurgle. Cool. Fire Drake 18, I think GW is worried because other companies are producing quality miniatures and 3D printing is around the corner. I've said this for the last 10 years. GW is going out of business. I don't, in the last couple of years, I don't think so, because their stocks have been going up. And other companies are shutting down. And I'm seeing more and more model companies and all these little small third-party people going out of business. Why? Because GW is taking everybody's money. Is that a good thing, bad thing? I don't know. But that's from, at least from my perspective, that's where it looks like it's going. Ever since the change in heart for the company, they've been embracing the community more and doing more with the community and pushing their IP into other areas. They're only going to get bigger. And in fact, that may be why they are pushing into other areas, is because they can see that the market's going to change. Because now 3D printing, right? 3D printing and color prints. You can print your model colored. Fuck, why do we even need to paint them now? We don't, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, now, mind you, I've had a thought about that. And we could all, start crying, the sky is falling. But I'd imagine that the portrait artists over 100 years ago, at the advent of photography, were claiming the sky is falling when photography started to become very popular. But yet, we still have portrait painters, because there's something about the art form, right? It's expensive. It's not for everybody. Photography is obviously accessible by anybody. But even within photography, right? DSLRs. The advent of better cameras within your frickin' cell phones. Any asshole can turn his camera phone on, throw a filter on, and it look like any other famous photographer's piece. Right? It's the end of photography. Because it's in everybody's hands now. Right? And so with the 3D printing them in colors, shit. It's only a matter of time before you can get those color prints to a high resolution, get those color prints, and get them in styles that look reminiscent to other infamous painters, right? You can get that look like, you know, so-and-so's paint job. You can get it to look like this. You can get it to look like, and boom, right? Why do you even need those painters anymore? Right? If you can just print it up, just buy the file, print it up. So, yeah, there'll always be a need. It's gonna decline, but it'll still be there. That's a guess, of course. Aaron Seach, episode 280, one monkey lord and one monkey apprentice. No more, no less. Yeah. Lord Krabby, what about the Blood Angels trailer? Yeah, I like that. That was very cool. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Space Marines, though. Space Marines. You know. But it's Gene Stealer, so it's kind of fun. It's gonna be, hopefully it's, you know, it's scary. It's bloody, right? Aaron Seach, Pedro, Gravis armor, please. Yes, definitely. I love metal Pedro assembled and ready to paint on my shelf. Dr. Santos, our club has White Dwarf magazines from issue 100 or so. It's neat to read them old stuff ones. Like, what the hell's this? Remind me later. Like Orc Mad Dog tables. Yeah, I was actually looking through those. I was going through some of my old White Dwarfs, and there was a certain point where they were doing card inserts in a lot of the White Dwarfs, and I have a lot of the tiles for Warhammer Quest. I still have them in the White Dwarfs. They're still sitting in there. Never use them. I even have an old White Dwarf. It still has a decal sheet on it for, like, you know, from way back in the day. It has like the reprint. It was a reprint kind of inspired by the old Space Marine cover where, you know, like the Dark Angels in green armor, and it has Buddy's face. I can't remember what the hell. Stallone. It's Stallone's face. But it's like a redo of that, and it was for Epic, I believe. But anyway, yeah. I'll talk about it in the video. Hail Bop. It's like me watching the EMS drama. Or the EMS drama. Oh, the EMS dramas. Yeah, exactly, right? They're just, you know, yeah. Anybody who's worked healthcare knows all those shows are full of shit, and that's not how it goes. You know? They just use the words. It's like Star Trek, right? Ooh, quantum. Oh, it's this quantum thing. You don't even know what the fuck quantum means. You're using it wrong. So, yeah. Job is left nutted. Kris, which contrast orange would be best for Terminator armor lamps? Which orange would be better? Well, there's only one orange. That's that's Griffhound orange, right? That's the only orange. I mean, Iandon yellow applied heavily is slightly orange. I don't know. There's only one orange. So, and for doing Terminator lamps, I would probably, like, if you're doing the lamps, okay, like if you're doing those lamps, you pick out the little bulb in white, leave that frame, either the color of the armor or paint it black or paint it metal, whatever you want to do. And then come in with the contrast and just hit each of them little spots with Iandon yellow. And then very quickly with your brush, draw out the center. So it's a brighter yellow and deeper orange around the recesses. And that might get you the look you want. And if it's not orangey enough for you, which it should be, because Iandon yellow finishes pretty orange when it's really when it's dense in details and stuff. So Iandon yellow, if you're doing lamps, Iandon yellow. I don't think you need to go to Griffhound orange. Unless you really want them really orange, but I don't really know why you'd want to do that. But anyway, hopefully that helps. Jabba's left nut. Hopefully. I'm hoping. Here, this is me hoping. I'm hoping. Joe K. Wouldn't it be more interesting if they added in 40K a human faction out of the Empire versus Chaos black and white narrative? Another faction, a 40K human faction out of the Empire versus Chaos black and white narrative. Like, are you talking about adding another human faction to 40K? Or are you talking about adding a 40K human faction into the Warhammer or Age of Sigmar universe? Is that what you're asking? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would... Okay, if we're talking adding a human faction into the Age of Sigmar, yes, definitely. I would... Another human faction? Definitely. Something not quite as... Almost akin... Okay, like, if you're going to draw parallels, Stormcast Eternals, Space Marines. And then Imperial Guard. That'd be kind of cool, right? The common human rabble, right? I don't know. If we're talking about adding a 40K human faction into 40K, I mean, you can. Although, like one that I would like to see. Okay, if we were going to add human factions into 40K, I definitely would like to see allies to the Tau. Humans who are allied to the Tau, who are being declared heretics by the Imperium, and who are sided with the Tau, and who benefit from being part of the Tau Empire, but not so much being just like they can be an auxiliary of the Tau, or they can be an army of themselves, right? Another one would be humans who have, started an empire of their own within the Imperium, but who are, more technologically superior or less technologically superior, but you know what I mean? Like something interesting, right? Sure. Again, 40K, sky's the limit, but the way Age of Sigmar goes now, sky's the limit. When you still had Warhammer Fantasy, it was very confined. It was this little sandbox, and you couldn't have, the Deepkin you couldn't have floating fish people. You couldn't have floating dwarf people in Warhammer Fantasy. It just wouldn't happen because it wouldn't fit the lore because it was so confining, right? But now Age of Sigmar, go whatever they like. They can do whatever they like. It can be anything it wants, which is really fantastic. Whereas now, 40K, for the longest time, 40K felt like that. But these days, it feels very confined. It feels very, very confined, So, but it is what it is. Scale Model Muse, LOL, GW going out. What the fuck? They've been around forever. Not going to happen. It's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. There would have to be such a dramatic shift, and there would have to be some massive screw up on their end. Something massive to really kind of hurt them. Because again, they're a publicly traded company, and it's something that would have to completely shit their stocks, right? So, yeah. Hail Bop, companies make pre-painted scale models, but scale model businesses are still around. Yeah, exactly. Stefan Henry, GW isn't going out of business. It's more so 3D printing is still in its infancy, and the quality is not the same, and the detail is not the same. No, but it's only getting better, and it gets better exponentially every day. So, I've talked about this at length previously on other shows, and yeah, it's only a matter of time that the cost of them is like buying. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when you get printers, right, for your computer, and you have to buy refills of ink. At one point, it was almost cheaper to just buy another printer rather than refill the goddamn printer. Isn't that weird, right? At least I found. This was quite a while ago, but mind you though, you know what I mean? So imagine, and I can see it, that these 3D printers, they're going to get to that point because the 3D printers are getting to the point where it's not just for prototyping and things like that. They're starting to print in other materials, and you know what I mean. And as soon as somebody plugs in and figures out a way to sell that to everybody, yeah, they're gonna explode and be in everybody's house. Everybody who has a computer will have it. And shit, you don't even need a computer because all you gotta do is just get your card, right? You can they're gonna be wireless. You're just gonna do it off your phone. It's going to be connected to your phone, And all you're going to have to do is that, and these things become more powerful all the time, that you can probably start digitally sculpting whatever the hell you want. Hell, they have the goddamn sensors on them so you can take a scan with your phone and then import it, and then it'll print. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted to copy somebody's miniature, all I have to do with now these phones, I don't think it has that, but it's the phones with the multiple lenses. And they can take that scan. They can do that scan, and they can render it in 3D. I can't remember what the hell that technique's called, but I'm sure somebody out there who's more in tune with the technology can explain it. But theorizing, yeah, it's around the corner. It's around the corner. You can smell it. Anyway, where am I? Joe K. No, I meant in 40K. Right now, it's just black and white, nothing in between. You mean like the whole Imperium versus Chaos? Well, it's Imperium versus everybody. It's the 40K universe is really kind of a battle royale. Because even like the Imperium fights amongst itself, right? So everybody, Chaos fights amongst itself, Eldar fight amongst themselves, Orcs definitely fight amongst themselves, Tyranids lore-wise really shouldn't fight amongst themselves. Necrons fight amongst themselves. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's kind of all fighting each other, right? But, yeah. And the Imperium, I mean, not being black and white, yeah, and possibly as far as lore is concerned, it feels very black and white these days. Whereas in the past, the black and white, no, the Imperium was very gray. It wasn't as we're the good guys kind of thing. It was, you know, the Imperium was a pretty shitty place. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't, like, people today would not really want to live in the Imperium. Hail Bop. You could do that. A 6th, 7th edition guard could ally with Tau, just neither would gain benefits. Yeah. But they need to make a human faction that looks like they are, you know, a combination of human and Tau. They're incorporating Tau technology, right? Like Tau, I mean, I don't know how, in the background of how Tau incorporate aliens. Do they just give them a shit ton of their technology, or do they kind of parse it out? Or, you know what I mean? Like, you know, do they have like a prime directive kind of thing where, you know, like they don't give, you know, lesser cultures all technology, because obviously it does make them more dangerous. And do the Tau operate on that kind of benevolence, right? So, who knows? Fire Drake 18, Kris is right about how more interactive GW is. I like it, but I wish they were more giving. Constant rule changes and prices have turned me off. That's the market, man. That's the market. That's profit. Because they're a publicly shaded company. And, you know, they always have to show making profit. They can't not make, you know, certain price points, right? So they always have to keep constantly increasing. And think about at the rate at which they're producing stuff, right? How fast it is compared to what they were doing before. And think about the infrastructure that has to be in place for them to distribute everything. That's expensive. They distribute across the entire planet, right? It's not like Amazon where it's one guy in, you know, Timbuktu who's shipping it out of his garage, right? No, there's facilities all over the place. There's warehouses all over the place. There's trucks moving this stuff. It's going by boats. It's going by planes. It's all over the place. That's expensive to maintain that kind of infrastructure. So how do you pay for it? How do you pay for infrastructure? We'll just ask any country that wants to update its infrastructure, how expensive it is. You know what I mean? Like America needs to update its infrastructure. Not going to get around to it. Too fucking expensive. So what happens? It crumbles, dies, you know. David Koning. In old fantasy, you can have wood elves who never leave their forest. I have tomb kings who never left the desert. How are we fighting? Age of Sigmar is vague enough just to justify anything. Yeah, which is better for a gaming environment, right? You know, Warhammer Fantasy, like it was so confining. It was very confining, and you know, I'm glad that GW let it go. I mean, there was a lot of things I wish got ported over, like Bretonnians. I collected Bretonnians for Fantasy. I want Bretonnians to be ported over. But I'd like to see Bretonnians get a fancy-dancy Age of Sigmar treatment. You know what I mean? Something cool. Something fun. Something, kick-ass. With a lot, like Pegasus? Come on. You gotta bring, like GW, you gotta bring back those Pegasus riders. Knights on Pegasus. You know what I mean? That's freaking kick-ass. That's Bretonnians right there, right? It's a damn shame. Dark Commission, if you're not playing in a tournament, you can make up any lore and rules you want. Imagination is your only limit. If you spend hundreds on minis, why not make your own game entirely? Because sometimes when people make up their own rules, I mean, you totally can, and why not? You should, right? But that's not the age we live in. People want things hand-delivered to them, right? Back in the day, when you and I were young guys, yeah, we all did that. We made up shit all the time. And you gave it rules a try, and somebody said, oh, it's kind of powerful. It wasn't too bad. It was kind of fun, And you went back and forth, and that's, you basically play-tested the rules, right? But these days, people want cookie cutter. They want cookie cutter. They want it, ready to serve right now. And they want it to be right the first time out, because then they bitch terribly when, it doesn't meet those expectations. But that's the day and age we live in. There's nothing saying you can't go and buy an Age of Sigmar army right now and make up your own rules for that faction within whatever. And you even rewrite the background as to what, you can totally do that. But if you go to a pick up and play game, nobody's going to want to play it. Nobody's going to play it. You're only going to be able to play with your closest friends. And then if you're not playing all the time, you're just not going to, get anything out of it, But you totally can. Go right ahead. Fire Drake 18. I was worried when Primaris came out that they were phasing out normal Marines to buy new models. Still a concern. Yes, definitely. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. The Primaris Marines? Yeah. That collection's only going to get bigger. And, yeah, regular Space Marines are going to get phased out. Definitely. I mean, freaking Primaris Marines look awesome on the tabletop. And you compare them to the regular Space Marines, they look like little kids. They look like little kids in armor. It looks like cosplay versus the real deal. You know what I mean? So, no. I don't collect Space Marines, and, but, yeah. I only, if I start Space Marines right now, I only want Primaris Marines. But the thing is that one of my favorite Space Marines is not in the Primaris vernacular, and that's Sternguard. I want Sternguard Primaris. If they made Sternguard Primaris, but it doesn't fit the lore, right? Sternguard Primaris doesn't fit the lore. So by the time we come around to another edition change, they may make it that, Primaris Marines, their armor, because of the constant fighting, they have to take parts from older suits, and you know what I mean? And then they're cobbled together, and now they're just gigantic Primaris Marines with cobbled bits, and you know what I mean? And so now you have Sternguard. And then once you get to that point, yeah, regular Space Marines will get phased out. They will. Space Marines are going to get phased out. The old Space Marines, not Primaris. And Primaris will just be, well, they might even keep the name Primaris. Primaris Marines. Right? We're already using that term, Primaris Marines. That's a term GW can copyright. Maybe. I don't know. But Primaris Marines? Sure. Right? Stop using Space Marine? I'll bet you that's what GW wants. Because they can copyright it. They can sue the fuck out of anybody who challenges that, right? And why not? I mean, they're making a buck, right? So, anyway. Where am I here? Aaron Seach. Don't count the Bretonnians out, Monkey Lord. I don't count them out. I just like to see them get an update. I'm sure they will get the treatment too. The appeal for me of Age of Sigmar is the fantasy setting, but it's not the typical Tolkien fantasy. No, and I'm tired of the Tolkien fantasy. It's tokens, But it's limited. It's a world. It's one world. Age of Sigmar. Realms. Dimensions. Could be anything, right? Age of Sigmar can exist within 40k universe. Why not bring in 40k? Right? Why not? Why not bring in Space Marines? Be good for a laugh. Because the two universes crossed over quite a few times. Way back in the day. Talisman. Talisman, you could play as a Space Marine. Talisman is a fantasy game. It's set in the Tolkien type of fantasy world, and there was a space marine because it was time thing. Timescape, Time Rift? No, it was Timescape. I think it was called. Anyway, Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Does seem kind of weird to me how third-party rules are incredibly common for tabletop RPGs, but basically unheard of for wargames. Right, because typically within wargames, it's more... you often end up with a more competitive type of mindset within wargames. It's kind of like chess. You'd both know the rules, and the outcome, one is going to win. RPG is not about winning. RPG is about adventures. Getting somewhere. Completing the story. Right? So, there's tons of imagination in an RPG. Right? Tons. Within a wargame, though, it is confined. Because it is often adversarial in nature. RPG is cooperative. Right? That's the big difference. And honestly, that's probably why, at least from what I've noticed, that's probably why there are larger amounts of females on mixed gaming groups in RPGs. Because it's a cooperative nature and it's story driven, right? Versus wargaming, which is adversarial, competitive, right? And you know what I mean? And it's based in conflict, right? So, but that's speculative. And I have only my observation, only anecdotal observations in that. So, but that's the way it looks to me. And I've been in this hobby a long time. And yeah, it's easier to get the girls to play D&D than it is to, even Talisman. Playing Talisman, it's easier to get girls into Talisman than, anybody else. Because Talisman, it's not quite, you're both fighting for an end objective. But how you go about it is completely open-ended. Right? And so, yeah, that has mass appeal. Because it involves the imagination and the brain, and you know what I mean? And so, definitely. But yeah, no, there is a big distinct difference between RPGs and, war games, obviously. Hail Bop, I want GW or another company to bring back those first edition Realm of Chaos books, or non-GW company that makes them similar, where it added an RPG aspects to the game, your heroes being randomly generated with varying degrees of power. Well, that's Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader is an RPG game. It's closer to an RPG game. Play Rogue Trader. And the old Realm of Chaos books, yeah. I still have my Slaves of Darkness, first one. My second one, some piece of shit stole it off me. But, yeah, I still have my Slaves of Darkness. Lost in the Damned. Some fucking jerk. Anyway, you're gonna get me mad. You're gonna get me mad. I'm gonna get mad. Don't make me mad. You're not gonna like me when I'm mad. Dark Commission. Yeah, Kris, I know what you mean. Luckily, in the music world, the fun with synths is not the presets, but your own sound designs. Right. Exactly. When you can find something and record it and then play with the pitch. And you know what I mean? Yeah. Like taking a fart and then just changing the pitch. Like, why not, right? That's kind of... I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. Scott, war games have a clear winner. RPGs are collaborative experience. Rules are essential to one and secondary to the other. Right. Well, rules are still within any game. Rules are always important because you want some consistency there. But RPGs and war games, yeah, they're two different beasts. War games are fixed games, fixed rules. RPGs are open-ended. War games, you're fighting to a conclusion. RPGs, it's open-ended to keep the adventure going. It's two different mindsets. Joe K. GW would not be so kind on people that make third-party rules for the games. Before they circulated the limited space out game, they nuked every online fan site of the original game. Oh, I don't know. Did they? Scale Model Muse. You'd be shocked at how many of us females enjoy war games. I like both RPGs and war games. Sure. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the ratio of female to male. In wargaming, miniature wargaming, it's a higher, like, okay, go look at any of the pictures from the LVO right now. How many girls are there? Okay, go look at the LVO pictures of LVO. Or even last year's. How many girls? Right? You can probably count on two hands how many girls there are. Who aren't the wives of the said boys. Right? So, that's all I'm saying. I mean, you know, RPGs, you look at any Dungeons and Dragons, you know, group event, it's probably damn near 50-50. Right? Look at Gen Con. Go look at the pictures of Gen Con of the D&D events. You compare that to the tournaments for Wargaming. D&D tournament, 40K tournament, and you look at the ratios. That's the evidence. That's your evidence right there. Okay? If somebody needs evidence as to how to determine, to come to that realization. So what is it? What is it about Wargaming that draws, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that girls aren't competitive. Far be it. Girls are every bit competitive. Hell, I would even argue girls are more competitive. Just look at when girls are, you know, a bunch of girls are together. For God's sakes. That's tiring. But, mind you, the mindset for wargaming, though, it just seems to be something that, you know, a lot of boys seem to get into. If that is cultural, if that's societal, I have no idea. Till somebody comes along and actually, you know, does the research on this and actually looks at the sociological issues of these things, you know. But yeah, I would suspect, because it's the adversarial nature of the one game versus, you know, the open-ended cooperativeness of the other game. Right? Just saying. Just my theory. Hail Bop. Those books are a little expensive these days, Kris. Yeah, they are. Eldari Lamborghini, there he is. Well, howdy. If I ever needed a lawyer, it's going to be Eldari. Do you got a card yet, Zach? Do you got a card? If you got a card, send me one of your cards. Fire Drake 18. Oh, he's talking to Joe. Eldari, did I miss anything fun? No. Wait. No. Dark Commission. I've resisted the fart thing so far. Yeah. Well, burp, a fart. What other bodily noises can you do? Burp, a fart. We could do queefs. What else? Oh, armpit noises. Or even, you know, for some of us with a little bit more extra flabbiness on us, you get those kind of suction cuppy sounds. Oh, hand farts. Bet you guys didn't know I could do that, eh? Anyway, I used to be able to get some really good sounds. Hold on. No. I used to do this all the time when I was a kid. Yeah, I was a lonely child. Scale Model Muse. Not in my world. We play and are not we play and are not into showing the entire world on the net. D&D, I played that on paper in junior high long before it got all popular. Sure. Scale Model Muse. Defo Social. Social? Yeah. Sociatal? You're throwing some all sorts of words. Fire Drake 18. Wish I would have gotten into D&D when I was younger. Still can. There's no age limit on D&D. Hell, I'm going to be playing that soon enough. We're gonna play some one shots with Ash and Owen, and we have a DM coming in. Have some fun. I made some graphics for it. Ash asked me to make some graphics for it, and so yeah. Although we didn't do like an intro though. We might have to do an intro. Ash's workflow for making videos is very, very fast. Whereas myself, I like to craft something, But it's not a fault or anything like that. It's just, because he produces a shit ton of videos. Joe K. They did the same thing with the fan sites of Warhammer Quest. The only ones that escaped the purge are the Hero Quest ones because Hasbro has the copyright. Interesting. Yeah, I remember back in the day there used to be a whole bunch of Warhammer Quest ones. Yeah. Anyway. Eldari Lamborghini. Kris, you'll be the first one to get a card if/when I do. I'm just saying. Scale model Muse. Whistles. LOL. Whistles. Scale model Muse. My hands today. My hands. Stefan Henry. Probably a good time for an email. You know what? Probably a good time for an email. Let's take a break from me getting beat up by girls because I'm saying girls can't play war games. I'm not saying that. I never fucking said that. I'm just saying that the community tends to be male driven as opposed to D&D, which, I mean, like I said, go look at the evidence, right? Look at those conventions. Look at all the conventions. D&D versus tabletop wargaming. Now, not board games. Board games is different. Because like I said, like I play Talisman. I play with my wife and my buddy and his wife, and getting the kids involved. You know what I mean? Like board games, that's a different beast. There's tabletop board games. There's board games, RPGs, something else. There's another one in there. But anyway. Yeah, but let's do an email. Let's click a button. Let's do this one. So, if you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. It's not even fun. Email time. Email time. Oh, it's already done? Shit. This one is from our good buddy. Our good buddy. Awesome PC guy? I'll say that. I'll say it's awesome PC guy. Hey, Kris, a.k.a. Hey, you, get off my lawn. This is my first Dreadnought. Thought he deserved a flame effect. Also, my first flame effect. I normally paint Tyranids. I'm kind of pleased with it, but willing to take a bit of advice on making it even nicer. Thanks. So let's have a look at Awesome PC Guys. Ooh. I dig it. I like the flame. You did the flames, correct. It's brighter in the core, darker out towards the ends of the fingers. Right off the hop, the flame is the first thing that, obviously jumps out at me. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Why does it stretch the image like that? Anyway, I just wanted to get in, kind of have a closer look here. Big thing I would recommend, obviously, is taking care of them mold lines. And they will take care of you. No, they won't. Be mindful of the primer you use, especially if you're going for bright color schemes. So, obviously he's red. And I would use, at the very least, I would use a white, a light gray, or even a red primer. And you can always come in and, pick them bits out. Because it looks like you laid quite a bit of red down to try and build up that red. And, on big flat surfaces like this, it's not too big an issue, but because you have to lay so many layers down, you are going to end up running into the issue of leaving a lot of brush strokes behind. And that's not something that you normally want. Because sometimes you do want it. You actually do want to leave brush strokes behind sometimes. But that's another discussion. Your painting is mostly clean. You know, again, like I said, it's really, I think you're trying to build that brighter color up on top of black, on top of a black primer. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend you do not do that. Now, mind you though, you can use base colors, Citadel base colors, sit on top of black primer pretty darn good. So if you started off, say, with a couple thin coats of Mephiston red and then started to build the color up, you probably would have been okay without getting too heavy. But I don't know. In fact, you may have went that route, but I think maybe your application was a little heavy-handed. And so you ended up with like a lot of heavy brush strokes. And so, but again, as I always say, if you want it bright, you prime it white, right? So always remember that. So if you're painting white scars, Blood Angels, Imperial Fists, what's another bright Space Marine chapter? Ultramarines, you can kind of go 50-50. Go black or white. Who's another bright color scheme? That's a major. Oh, yeah, I guess Space Wolves, you can kind of go with a white or black primer. Typically, I mean, with white scars, or not white scars, frick. Space Wolves, I would probably go with a light gray, if not white, because the color scheme is fairly bright. It's a light gray. Light blue gray, mind you. But yeah, so thank you for sending that in. Yeah. I don't know if you're here today. Are you here today? Are you with us today? No? No. Fire Jack 18. Flame on. Flame on. Oh yeah, flame on. Dark Commission. Now I've sorted my music. I'm getting back into painting. Expect some emails soon. Can't wait to put brush to plastic as I've not been painting since last August. Wow. Salamander. Oh, Dr. Xantos. Did I mention salamanders? Yeah, salamanders. And there's another one. Salamanders, like Ultramarines, though, you can go both ways. You can go either with a white primer, or you can go with a light gray, or you can even go with a black. It all depends on how much you want to contrast, right? With the reds, though, typically you'll want to go... I really would not recommend going darker than a gray as far as your primer is concerned. Just because you're going to end up... Like, if you... Especially, like I said, if you want it bright, you prime it white. Simple as that. Simple directive, right? If you want it bright, you prime it white. Pretty simple. So, it all depends. Now... If you're going by GW's recommended way of painting models, then just follow their guides. But if you're willing to diverge from what they've done and, maybe push contrast, you still can push contrast even though you primed it white. You just push darker colors into your shadows, and you know what I mean? But it requires you to have more control and bit more expertise as far as, your execution is concerned. But yeah. But thank you, awesome PC guy, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Let's do another email. This one is from our good buddy Eric. There's no pictures, but he just sent this in, and I thought it was funny, so I thought I'd share it. And it's regarding a Way of the Brush t-shirt. He says, "Hey, Chris, so I used my Way of the Brush t-shirt on the job at kindergarten the other day. The black one with the white slatter and red writing, kind of like what I'm wearing. Some girls, 3, said that I had booped my t-shirt. It looks like seagull poop. I had to keep a straight face." Yeah. It does look like seagull poop at times, right? It was, obviously it's to represent, obviously a paint splatter, right? That's why you get the little drizzling going down, right? I thought that was funny though. Yeah. But hey, people are talking. People are noticing. Now, mind you, it's kids. But, that kid's going to say something to the parents, and hey, maybe those kids have some good-looking parents. Maybe some single parents. Maybe you can parlay that into a conversation. Or maybe not. I don't know. Any other comments? Fire drinking salamanders do not go both ways? How do you know they don't go both ways? Yeah, how do you know that? Did they mention it in the books? So, like, are they straight up heterosexual, like, or are they homosexual? I don't know. We're all about the vagina, or we're all about the cock. One of the two, but we'd never do both. Is that like their chapter motto? Robert Marshall. Hello, everyone. Hello, Robert. What a time to jump in on the chat today. Salamanders, all about that cock. Let's do another email. This one is from our good buddy Scott Radham. Finished up my dudes for my last days, gang. One more to go. Fire away any crits, thoughts, whatever. Also, I want my cookie for guessing you sponged on that first marble tutorial. Bam! So let's have a look at Scott's work. And Scott is always doing some impressive stuff. I really enjoy the highlighting on the face guard on the helmet. The cloth looks really great. His suit. I really like your subtle highlights. Good control, nice details. Any criticism? I have no idea. Like I mean, like it really just be about, you know. I mean, these are game pieces you're doing, right? I mean, like these are not like you're not doing these for rewards or anything like that, right? Really like your highlighting on the arm. Got the texture on the bat. No, it's a fantastic paint job. Oh, I mean, yeah, you can push the control further. Tighten up the highlights if you wanted. I don't know. You know. Now, mind you, if he is in an apocalyptic setting, maybe there's stains on his outfit. Maybe there's chips in the helmet. The face guard might have a crack, right? The leather can look maybe a bit more aged. The bat could possibly have stains. The shield, definitely. You know, like if it's post-apocalyptic, you know, maybe the shield has a design. Maybe he got it from a piece, like almost like he got it from a car door, or it was a sheet metal of some sort that had, you know, branding of something else on it. You know what I mean? And you know, but I mean, within the context of the game, I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of like post-apocalypse, but like it's like the day after the apocalypse, right? So it really wouldn't be too much. Like he would have obviously still have all his, if he was a police officer, but maybe he has numbers, like what unit he's part of. Maybe there's numbers on his shield. Maybe there's a number on his helmet. Maybe there's little symbols, police symbols, what the police department is. And same with the fire department guy. He could also have, you know, those kind of like little fire department symbols, first aid symbols, you know, those kind of things. Yeah, I mean, like as far as your highlighting and your color and all that, I mean, is really great. I think it's just pushing those extra little details. But I really wouldn't fuss over it if these are just game pieces. If this is just a game piece, this is already a lot of effort and looking really fantastic. And I really wouldn't go any much further. I wouldn't feel it necessary. If I was entering this game into a competition to be judged and, you know, to impress people, then yes, I would weather it up and delve more into the character of the piece, right? But otherwise, that is all I can recommend. Thank you for the email, Scott. That's really fantastic. Very impressive work. I really like it. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Awesome stuff. But I've come to expect, you know, really great work from you. Where the hell am I in this chat? I have no idea. Matt came in and I don't know what's going on. Robert Marshall, if salamanders go both ways, do Sisters of Battle go both ways or just Way of the Muff? Way of the Muff. Well, I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, it's like when you start asking these kind of questions as far as like the sexual orientation of factions, you know, you start heading into some really weird territory, like, you know, and ultimately doesn't matter, right? The sexual orientation of fictional characters or even real people for that matter. When you look at a celebrity and you're like, you wonder, is he gay? I don't know. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. The sexual orientation of a person does not matter. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter in real life, and it doesn't really matter in fiction either, you know? And, you know, if the person happens to be gay, well, then the person's gay. If the person's straight, the person's straight. I mean, you know, the sexual orientation does not matter as far as real people and as far as fictional characters. Doesn't matter. Eldar Lamborghini, Way of the Muff. that'll be a different show. Dark Commission, salamanders as rainbow marines is not a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. Rainbow marines were different. They weren't salamanders though. In Rogue Trader, there was rainbow marines. There was a Space Marine chapter, rainbow marines. Matthew Demi, is the Way of the Muff Chris's new show tackling feminist issues? Can it just be about Muff? I mean, you know, why does it got to be feminist issues? Can it just be about Muff? You know what I mean? Everything we know and love about Muff, like, why is it got to be tackling social issues? You know, like, you know, taking care of your Muff, treating your Muff, pleasuring your Muff. I mean, like why do we got to get into all these social issues with it? I mean, you know, sure, if it happens organically, but otherwise, you know, like, come on. You know, like, it doesn't matter, you know, like, are we trying to be socially provocative? Is that what it is? Because, I mean, the Way of the Muff, I mean, like, I can sit here and talk for hours on end. But that's an entirely different show. Hugh! What's up, Monkey Master? What's up, Hugh? What's happening? Eldari Lamborghini, I love the idea of trying to ham-fist an entire fictional group into one orientation. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, it's stupid. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the sexual orientation of these fictional characters being one way or another or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You know, if you want to write them as such, go right ahead. But I mean, ultimately, especially when we're talking about a fictional universe where everything is about the conflict and war, the sexual orientation doesn't really play out. Now, unless, of course, you wanted to tell, you know, a story between two warriors who happen to be of similar or different sexes, whatever, and their close personal relationship, and one of them dies. That's a pretty deep freaking story you're going to tell there. Definitely a human story. You could tell it as a Space Marine, right? Two Space Marines who, you know, deeply love each other, right? You could tell it. And in fact, as I was reading Descent of Angels, it almost hits into that kind of category. You know, but they were cousins, but they were very, very deeply connected, you know. But I mean, you know, it could be just familial ties, right? But otherwise, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can totally tell those stories within this fictional universe. I don't know. I mean, if, you know, the community really wanted to hear about two Space Marines being in love, sure, you know, if that's what people really want. I don't really see people clamoring for that story, but maybe somebody will produce it, you know. But ultimately, I mean, like, for example, when I was in history class way back in the day, they talked about the Mesopotamians and Alexander the Great. And in fact, they would encourage homosexuality amongst the troops. They would encourage it, okay? So that your partner was there in your platoon with you, fighting along your side. Why? One, oh, doggy barking. Oh, she's bad. One is you'd fight harder with your loved one next to you. Two, the loss of that loved one would drive you into such a battle rage that you would slaughter many of your enemy. So having Space Marines, and having, these kind of relationships amongst themselves, I mean, why not? Why not? I don't know. Might open some people's eyes, especially people who are adverse to that idea. But you know what? I say too fucking bad. I mean, if you want to explore it. Really. And take a chance. Why not? GW, take a chance. Black Library, take a chance. Write that story. 2 Space Marines in love. Right? Take that chance. Where am I in these fucking comments? I don't even know. Eldari, bang your models? Bold. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Fire Drake 18. I had to take a call, and I feel like people are making fun of my salamanders. Just taking the piss right out of them. Yep. Matthew, Way of the Muff, hosted by Kris, the Love Doctor. I don't know about the Love Doctor. I'm not qualified. I'm definitely... Oh, I'm not a doctor. Matthew Debbie, take care of your muff, and it will take care of you. Yeah, that's... I've been married 20 some years. So, there you go. Fire Drake 18, earmuffs? Yeah, you might want to put your earmuffs on. If you're young, if you're a young listener, I do apologize. But then again, I don't, because most of the time I have this shit marked for adult. So, if you can't handle talking about muffs, you should not be listening to me. You should not be tuned into me. If you can't have a serious conversation about homosexuality and muffs, then you should definitely not be tuning into me. Oh, man. Eldari Lamborghini. I think Warhammer has the luxury to tell really deep, introspective stories about humanity. Definitely. Oh, definitely. Any sci-fi. That's the realm of sci-fi. Sci-fi isn't about talking about techno gizmos and gadgets. It's about the human side of moving forward and where we'll go and where we'll be. And sci-fi is all about the future of humanity. Good sci-fi, I should say. Terrible sci-fi is about fucking gizmos and gadgets and, you know what I mean? And no. Fire Drake Team. The inappropriate relationship between Space Marine and his bolter. Yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. 2 battle brothers chilling in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. I mean, but why is... See, here's the question where you have to ask yourself, why is there a lot of resistance to that idea? This is a moment where you all have to be very introspective now. Why is there a resistance to that? Why can't Space Marines be gay? Why can't Sisters of Battle be lesbian? Right? Or other. Now, mind you, when we started this conversation, I said the sexual orientation, sexual preference of these characters does not matter as far as the context of playing this game and, these things. But you want to delve into it, and as I said, you want to delve into this, then let's go down this rabbit hole. Okay? We'll find out how grown up you really are. Joe K. There is no direct source about Alexander's sexuality, but some circles want to push that narrative. It's in the artwork. Look at the ancient artwork. There's tons of homosexuality in it. And this is something I was taught many years ago. We touched on in history class. And from a certain point of view, yeah, I can see it. Sure. Certain line of thinking. Sure. I mean, again, what's the resistance? What is the resistance? Ask yourself, what is that resistance then? Why do you have an aversion to that idea? Your own personal bias? Only you can answer that question. I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm only here to ask questions and answer your questions as far as painting is concerned. But as far as the greater aspect of life, I don't have those answers. Nobody does. Nobody has those answers. The only thing in my observation, okay, and this is something I have found to be very, very true, is that things change. Society changes. Society's laws have to change as society changes. Everything changes. Everything is subject to entropy. Everything changes, decays. Probably why I'm a Nurgle devout. I'm a devotee of Nurgle. Everything falls to decay. Everything ages. Everything changes. Nothing is fixed. Even our place in the universe, where the sun is spinning, the sun is not a fixed point in the universe. The sun is moving with the Milky Way as the planets rotate around. Even where we think we are, right here and now, we're spinning on this fucking globe as it orbits a planet, around that star, as that star moves through the Milky Way, as the Milky Way continues to move through the universe. Nothing is fixed. Nothing. Aaron Seach, can orcs be gay? Sure, why not? I don't ever see any female orcs. I mean, or are orcs androgynous, or I don't know. Because they're supposed to be like plants, right? Well, plants are asexual, so orcs are asexual. Who knows? Like I said at the beginning, you can fall down some pretty slippery slopes and some pretty funny places when you start speculating and when you start trying to equate real world things into these fantasy elements, which are fiction. It's made up, So. Joe K. You probably mean the Sacred Band of Thebes. It's not about aversion, it's about historical accuracy. Either way, the theory in these ancient armies, was it Thebes? Was it Mesopotamia? I don't fucking remember. Do you realize how long high school was for me? It's a theory, and they try out different things. The aversion to the idea, that's personal. David Koenig, I figure all that psycho-programming mumbo-jumbo that Space Marines go through just makes them uninterested in relationships entirely, gay or straight. It doesn't matter, right? Sure, fiction. They have no sexual desires. But then why in the stories do they talk about Space Marines noticing females? Right? Because they were once men. Because Space Marines were once men. Or, well, young men. But, who knows, right? They're still here. They're not grown in a vat. Well, at least, unless they retcon that. They were recruited from worlds, right? So, again, how deep do you want to go down this rabbit hole? Matthew. Well, Alexander's conquest was before AIDS, so if your guys are just fucking each other, other than that should reduce crotch rot from dirty hooker muff. What the fuck are you talking about? Matthew, have you recently suffered a blow to the head? Oh, man. Hail Bop. Orcs are definitely just mushrooms grown in a mad scientist lab and then injected with space steroids. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, orcs can be fucking anything. I mean, in 40K, anything can be anything. Space Marines can be anything you want. Can they be, are they grown in vats? Are they clones? Are they humans? Are they just, whatever, right? It's anything. It's anything you want to be. It's just fiction. And anybody getting worked up over the idea of gay Space Marines, you better check yourself a bit. Because that I find that absolutely hilarious that you would get upset about the idea of gay Space Marines. But you're okay with lesbian battle sisters? You know what I mean? Like, I find it absolutely hilarious. Craziness. It's crazy. It's crazy. Goes to Starman Deluxe. Yeah, 40K orcs reproduce asexually, and I think they technically aren't male or female. However, Blood Bowl has female orc cheerleaders, so the orcs in fantasy and presumably Age of Sigmar would be gay. Could be gay. Sure. Right? But again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The sexual orientation of these fictional characters does not matter. Unless, of course, you're going to tell a story within that point, within that narrative. Dark Commission. Alexander's expeditions explain the blue-eyed blonde Iraqis. Sure. You're going to have human DNA wants to spread out all over the place on this planet. That's another thing. Nothing's fixed. The DNA, human DNA wants to spread out all over the place. Nothing's fixed. Nothing's fixed. Even the skin color of people. Nothing's fixed. It'll change. The environment changes that. Skin color, pigmentation, everything like that, that's environmental. We're like rabbits. Rabbits in the summertime are browns. Winter, they're white. Right? It's environmental. Human form, same way. Skin color is only an adaptation to the environment. That's all it is. Fire Drake 18. Rainbow Marines are a thing. Yes. Yeah. It's Rogue Trader. Rainbow Marines. It's like a kind of a winged thing with rainbows. With lightning, like a lightning bolt. Rainbow Marines. Eldari Lamborghini. My so? And Kris had the same reaction to Matt's comment. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. That's what I was like. Like, I don't... Like, Matt, did you just go through your Rolodex of words you know and just wrote it as a sentence? I realize you're a young fellow, Matt. I realize you're a young fellow. And there is a lot of dogma that you have to unlearn. But you can, if you want to. Because I realize there's some deep feelings in there that you suppress. It's okay. It's okay. Goes to Starman Deluxe. Yeah, but I want to know whether my Rule 34 Gilliman and Gazgal fanfiction can be canon. Fire Drake 18. Episode 280. Spread the human DNA everywhere. Everywhere. Just shoot it everywhere. Repaint the walls. We're getting kind of disgusting again. Brutal Tops 2017. Hey, what's up, everyone? And Kris. Hey, what's up, Brutal? Brutal Tops. Brutally Tops? Brutally Tops? Sounds like a dinosaur. Brutally Tops. Kind of like one of my favorites. Triceratops. Let's do another email because we can, and so we shall. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Yeah, let's do this one. Email time. Email time. This one is from our good buddy, Legion. He's doing plasma coils. Hi, Kris. I'm currently painting another Pirate Guard model for my salamanders. He should be finished by next week's stream. In the meantime, I have a question in regards to painting plasma coils. Could you please do a tutorial on how to paint them, not in the classical way with the highest illumination from above, but the illumination from below? I also added some pictures of my quick and dirty Mechanicus paint scheme. Best regards from Germany. Okay, so wait a second. So he's currently painting another guard model for his Sailors. And finish the stream. In the meantime, I have a question in regards to painting plasma coils. Could I do a tutorial on how to paint them not in the classical way with the illumination from above? The plasma coils? Painting the plasma coils so that the illumination is from below. Yeah, Legion, I might need a little bit of clarification. What do you mean? Do you mean like the plasma coils are glowing from within, or the glow? There's a glow from the plasma coils, and it's coming from the ground upwards. Is that what he means? Yeah, Legion, I'm gonna need just a little bit of clarification on that one. So here we go. Looking good. I like the rustiness. I like the tracks. I like those tracks. Those look good. Look nice and rusty. They look like they've been running through the terrain there that you have them on the base. Like the colors. Nice and clean. Dark. Yeah, the plasma coils definitely could be a little bit brighter. Now, the way you're doing that plasma coil, is that what you're talking about? Like the light sources coming from above? Is that what you're talking about? Because I see like the high points of each of the coils themselves has a highlight on the uppermost portion. And you're talking about the light is coming from like kind of like the center of the gun, and the coils themselves are glowing, right? Is that what we're talking about? I hope that's what we're talking about. I really like the glowing purple swords. It's a nice bit of color considering that, with the darker reds, the base. And almost a blue-gray you've got going on with the armor bits. Or on, is that armor or is that cloth? Either way. Really, really cool. Again, I'm not huge on the Sector dudes, the Sector Mechanicum, but the Adeptus Mechanicum. But these guys are really cool. Yeah, the Shock Duders, the other ones, the Shock Duders I like too. They're fun. Now, are you laying down some pigment? Is that how you're getting that nice dusty effect on the bases and on the models? Nice line work on that cloak. Really nice line work on that cloak. Look at this. Look how nice and sharp that is. That is some really nice work. Like that edge on that first little bit. Nice and clean. Impressive. Really nice work, Legion. I think the eyes could have even been a color. Maybe like that purple. Just a little bit of that purple in the eyes. I don't know. Or maybe like do a little bit of like that fake OSL in the eye lenses to make them look like they're maybe glowing a bit, like the red. You could do them like glowing red. Or do them purple. I don't know. Just an idea. I'm not recommending you repaint your shit, but I'm just saying that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Legion, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. What do we got here? We got another email. This one is from Kris Snyder. Sorry, Kris, files were too large to send on phone. Here's this little golden side. So a little bit of gold. He had sent another email. I don't think you asked a question in that email. Did you ask a question in that email? I don't think there was a question, was there? Just an update last night. He added more weathering and finishing up the snow and finish up some snow. Snow on these gold guys? Because these guys are... Oops, did I click the wrong freaking thing? Oops. Everybody's looking at that screen going, what the heck am I looking at? Anyway. Yeah, let's go. Boom. 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 There we go. Thousand Sun Duders. Looking good. Now, is this the matte Reikland flesh shade you're using? I like the gloss. If you're going to spray the whole... Now, see, it looks like you... Did you spray the model and then attach them to the base? Or is it a contrast paint? Ooh, contrast paint would have been good too. The only thing is those, like, the contrast paints on top of metallics, I'm just not crazy about how the contrasts usually finish with a bit matte finish. I'm not crazy about that. Especially for metallic work. Metallics, you should always finish with a gloss. Because then you can always matte whatever you want afterwards. I really like the little hip armor plates. I like that, how you got like the deeper gold and you got the brighter gold on the outer edges. Looks really good. Backsides. Sweet. Are these guys getting painted in the traditional sense of gold and blues? Or are you just going all gold? Just going to go for it. All gold. Looks really good, though. Oh, look at this guy. Who's this dude? I don't think I've seen this dude. Sorry, I'm just checking out the gold. I like gold. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. Looks good. Do I have anything to recommend? Not really. I mean, it looks pretty early on in your efforts, so I can't really highly recommend anything. Oh, Snidely, you're here. Okay. Yes, traditional. Okay. Gotcha. Where am I? Stefan Henry. The leg is making that moment hilarious. Oh. Trencher 75. That is amazing. It's amazing, yeah. Dark Commission, that's a nice painting. Yeah. Trencher, insane. Fire Drake 18, I like that scheme. Yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Zinch Bums? Zinch Bums? Yeah. Are we talking about Zinch Bums? Snidely. Yes, traditional. Daniel Horton. Would you ever go back and do any work for MWG? Would I ever go back? I don't know. I don't think so. No. Not unless they made serious changes. Yeah. There has to be serious changes made. But that's not even, I can't fathom in any dimension that would occur. As far as doing any kind of commission type of work or, anything like that, like commission painting or anything, no, I wouldn't do any work for them. Any creation of videos for them? No, I don't think so. No. No. There's a real problem there that needs to be addressed, and they are in no hurry to address it. And yeah, no, the culture there is not conducive to growth. No, I wouldn't. Snidely 666. Would I go in for a game? Yeah, maybe, possibly. But no. Working for them? No. Snidely 666. It's airbrushing with a wash and 3 dry brush layers, building the highlight to the top. Okay. Trencher 75. Moving over to YouTube. Oh, is there lag over on Twitch? Usually Twitch is really good for streaming. Yeah. Don't know. Don't know what's going on. Oh, got an email from GW showcasing all their shit. Just the usual blast. If you're subscribed to GW, then you already know what's going on there. What time we at here? Holy cramoles, it's almost 2:00. Okay, well, we gotta do one more email, and then we are gonna get done. This one is from our good buddy Eldari Lamborghini. Monkey Lord, nothing like sending a mid-show email to get the blood pumping. I finished these boys up last night in preparation for Adepticon and our little game. Custom Raven Guard successor chapter, The Black Watch. Clearly a bit of a Scottish influence on these lads. The armor is dry brushed using Incubi Darkness, and all of the symbols are free-handed with white ink. Very cool. I'm looking for a Highlands theme on the base as well. CNC is always appreciated. And so this is Eldari's efforts. And very, very cool. I like the freehanding. Oh, the work on your symbol there is really, really cool. Considering that the main symbol in the middle there, what is that symbol? I don't know what that is, but that's like really, really tight. Toy. I think with your line work on the tactical symbols, I think you could always come back in and just clean those edges up just a little bit. If you're really gonna, like on the guy in the far right, it's really good line work on that guy. But I noticed the guy in the second from the right, he's a little bit shaky there. I think you could reestablish that and then just come in with a bit of black and just clean those edges up a bit. If you really gave a shit about it. If you don't, leave it. But very, very cool. Really nice work. And what is the symbol? What did you say the symbol was supposed to be? Shit. Yeah, it's really nice and fine. But I mean, you know, you're using an ink, so yeah, you can totally get those lines really, really fine. Really nice stuff, though. Really good. I like it. Thank you for sharing. Do I have any criticism? I think just cleaning up some of the line work, you know, especially when you have that really strong contrast with your black and white, and just kind of cleaning up some of those edges, because some of those things, you know, obviously can jump out at a viewer. I don't know if the Roman numerals needed to have that curvature the same as the pad. In fact, the number, you might not have been compelled to put that curvature in there if it was a bit smaller, and it looks like you can handle doing something really, really fine. So yeah, I would have probably made the numbers on their knees a little bit smaller. I think the eye lenses, you could go for a bit of a OSL type of look, or even just hit it with a metallic and then hit it with a colored glaze and just give them that bit of a glow, because the metallic, especially against all that darkness, can really kind of bring those eyes forward. Otherwise, no. I mean, that's really great work on the freehanding of that symbol. It's really tight. It almost looks like, what's that? Well, you're going for a Highland, so that is, what the frick is that? I don't know what the hell that word is. You're probably already writing it down. Let me see if I can get it. A thistle. Thank you. It's a thistle. Yes. Yes. Aaron, UN Marines look great. It's not UN Marines. It looks almost like the UN symbol, doesn't it? But yeah, from a distance, it almost looks, because it looks like the globe with the laurels. Yeah, but no, and it's blue and white too. Yeah. Was that the vibe you were going for? I didn't think that was the kind of vibe you were going for, Eldari. But yeah. Anyway. What time are we at here? Oh, 2 o'clock. We are pretty much done here. Let me see here. Daniel Horton, will you hold any painting class like you was meant to for MWG, but do it yourself? And what is the problem they need to address, if you can talk about it? It's not something I would talk about openly, because it would generally be a negative criticism, and it's not with it's at the core of the organization. So yeah, And honestly, addressing it and making it very public would inadvertently help them. And that's why I'm not critical of anything they're doing, of what they're doing. Which I think, so no. Because if I was to say something, because when I was there, I was critical of work that was being produced and whether or not it steered course or not. And now that I'm outside of it, I'm not going to be critical of anything because it will inadvertently or advertently steer them. And, honestly, I'm not about to start, doing that. So, yeah. 9. It's the past, man. It's the past. Let the past go. Aaron Seach. I'd get some satisfaction to see you go into mini wargaming and whip Matt's ass in 40K. In all my years, I don't think I've ever played Matt. We played a game of Blood Bowl once. And, yeah. But otherwise, yeah. No, never played. I played Dave, I think, once or twice, 40K, way back when I first started with mini wargaming. But yeah, no. Despite working for them for how many years, I was not that close to them. So, yeah. Fire Drake 18. Did you give updates when doing live shows through Patreon? I wasn't notified when you did your Corpse Grinder. Doing updates through Patreon. No, I usually don't do a notification through Patreon. Should I start doing notification through Patreon so you get a thing? I mean, I just don't want the Patreon page getting jumbled up because I don't know. See, I'm just always really averse to doing really spammy kind of things. Like it was recommended the other day about doing an announcements channel on the Discord. I mean, I can see it now because it allows me a place to do those kind of spammy kind of things without it getting buried within the general feed of the channel, right? So, yeah. But otherwise, yeah. Anywho. Where am I in these comments here? Aldari. That's also bad juju. Leave bygones in the past. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're moving forward. I'm moving forward. Let it be, right? Eldari, thanks. Yeah. So yeah, Eldari, yeah. I like the bases too. I like the the floral kind of rocky kind of vibe. I've never been to the Highlands, so I have no idea what it looks like. What it would inspire as far as creating that aesthetic within a chapter of Space Marines. I don't know, but yeah, your UN Marines look really cool. I'm just teasing. Zach's probably like, they're not fucking UN Marines, man. God damn it, they're the Highlands. They're goddamn Scottish Highlands. They're fucking badasses. Anywho, I think we can't go any further. We went all over the place today. Holy shit, we've gone all over the place. So, if you want answers to your questions as far as painting is concerned, feel free to ask them in the chat. Of course, the chat gets filled up with a lot of crazy crap too. So send your questions to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. And if you're going to post images, post them as attachments in the email. Don't send them off as links to other sites because I won't fucking do it. And yeah, feel free to ask questions. I do not believe in dumb questions, so feel free. I know that there are people entering this hobby and at various stages within this hobby, so don't feel that, asking something that you're brand new and you don't have the experience, and so you want answers to your questions. So feel free. This place is open to those kinds of questions. I fully encourage you to ask your questions. I know they've probably been asked 100 times before, but I'm more than happy to answer them 100 more times, because I know, and because basically I wish this kind of thing existed when I was getting into the hobby, and it didn't. And then when the internet came out and you would ask those questions and people were fucking super toxic about this type of shit, lots of gatekeeping, just fucking gatekeeping all over the place. And I don't have time for that kind of bullshit, that kind of mentality. I don't have time for it. Sometimes I do it myself, and I have to take a step back and go, am I really, what am I doing here? So I'm probably guilty of it myself at times. I try not to, but sometimes I do. But anyway, so send your questions. Kris at Wargaming. Fuck, we were just on the subject of that. Kris at wayofthebrush.com. Also, in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Links to the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversations rolling there. So if you really have to have your question answered, like now, you could go ahead and ask it in Discord. And if I don't answer it, one of the monkeys will answer, because the monkeys are knowledgeable as well. And it's great to have many perspectives on an issue. So, excellent. WayoftheBrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to help support the cause? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the monkey shrine, because why not? The monkeys like to look at themselves, and yeah, and it's just a lot of fun. It's kind of nice to put names to faces and faces to names kind of thing. WayoftheBrush.com also has a link to Patreon support. A huge thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. A lot of these things wouldn't be possible without you, and so huge thank you. Independent these days, and so it's source of income, right? You want to help support the channel, help keep this rolling, and keep the tutorials coming, Continue support will make that happen. Many tiers to support at, so check it out. Patreon. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, commenting, subscribing, liking, sharing the video. That's a huge one. Sharing the video all helps as well. Sharing the video is a really big one. So please share the video. Any of the videos, tutorials, this one, whatever. It all helps. It all helps. So huge thank you. Another big thank you, Carl, a.k.a. Guy Mirror Alflair, a.k.a. Beard and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. I don't know why I busted into the drawl, but that's his YouTube channel. Check him out. If you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl, Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl for taking time out of his busy day to create the email jingle that plays before the email segment of the show. So, or segments of the show. So that's it. We're done. Oh, and big thank you to my brother for creating the music that plays in the intro and outro. So always much love to my brother. Love. Brotherly love. Nothing wrong with brotherly love. That's some man-on-man love. Not sure why man-on-man love scares people, but it does. I'm not sure why. I honestly don't know why. When I was younger, a younger man, yeah, I used to make those kind of jokes. Disparaging. I did. But then it changed. I grew. As again, like I said, nothing is fixed. Your thoughts and feelings on things is not fixed. How you felt when you were a 5-year-old was not how you felt when you were a 10-year-old. Is not how you feel when you're a 15-year-old. And it's certainly not when you're 20, 40, 80. Nothing is fixed in this universe. Tell me, what is fixed in this universe? What is fixed? The speed of light. As far as we know, that could change with evidence, right? And so, who knows? Who knows? All I'm saying is you got to keep an open mind. Dark Commission. Considering the dream job nature of mini wargaming, there sure seems to have been a high staff turnover. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not the only one that you guys can ask these questions to. And in fact, you know, maybe you want to take a poll, you know, to people who are currently working, and who used to be working, and why people come and go. Go ahead, ask those questions. They'll probably be more diplomatic than me, maybe less diplomatic than me. You know? And like I said, nothing's fixed. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But I know that if things don't change, yeah. Where am I? Fire Drink Team. See? More questions. Yeah. Trencher, have a good day. You have a good day. Nathaniel, it's only gay if the balls touch. If the balls touch, that's the only part of it's gay. No, I think it goes a little deeper than that. Dr. Santos, manliest of love should scare people. The manliest of love should scare people. And it does. Love does scare people. And you know what? Like, realistically, right? What counters all this hate, this fear in this world today is love. And why is it that so many people are so scared of love? When it's something that when you are first born and brought into this world, it's all you are. And that's all you experience as a baby. I would assume, hopefully, right? You have to be really hurt inside to be fearful of love, you know, letting that in. Because guaranteed, the people who think that letting that amount of that kind of love in, and just love into your heart, the people that are scared of that are very damaged individuals, or believe in some really weird things, and who have led very damaged pasts. Yeah. I feel bad for them, honestly. I do. I feel bad. Am I going to help them? No. I'm not willing to help anybody who doesn't want to help themselves. So I won't help them. Am I going to step over them in the street and see them lying in the gutter? Yeah, maybe. I might. It all depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. BT headshots. LOL, you and I did the hot thing at the same time. Goes to Starman Deluxe at Kris. The speed of light does change. Light moves faster through a vacuum than through air, for example. Yes, exactly. And the path, right? We think of light as being a straight line, and it's not. It's like a wave, right? And that can change direction. We think the light is a straight path, and in fact, it can be changed. Gravity changes its path, right? So, nothing is fixed in this universe. And I honestly, as far as how we experience and know this universe, nothing is fixed. Nothing is set in stone. Even stone is not fixed. Stone does erode, decay. Nothing is fixed. So people's conceptions of things can change, do change. They do change. It's only short-sightedness that is really the problem we're at in this world today. Short-sightedness and fear. And the short-sightedness leads to the fear, or the fear leads to short-sightedness. But fear is the mind killer. Anywho, Johnny's Chop Shop. Does a ball gag make a good Valentine's gift? Asking for a friend. Does it make for a good gift? If it's with love. Dark Mission episode 280. Is there something you want to tell us, Kris? Yeah. Have love in your heart. Just have love in your heart. Don't be afraid. Matthew Adami, isn't dying set in stone? No. Because you don't know when it occurs. We don't even understand the nature of death. What happens when we die? What is death? We don't even know what death is. How can we even explain what life is when we don't even know what death is? The very nature of the universe, the whole idea that this entire universe we live in is a simulation. What if that's proven true? How are you going to explain things? What would that mean for your own existence if this is all simulation? What if you really are just a simulation? Can you prove that you really are real? you Nothing is fixed. Nathaniel, death is fixed. We all die. Sure, but what is death? What is death? Death is your consciousness, right? Your consciousness goes away. You guys are just trying to keep me fucking talking, aren't you? I just realized. Matthew Dami, everything and everyone dies eventually. Sure. Everything falls to entropy. That's entropy. That's the word you're looking for, entropy. Yeah, Dimitri Aberton, death will feel the same as it was before you were born. There's no evidence of that. The theory stands that we have all experienced non-existence. Right? We have no memory. But most of us don't remember being born. But you were born, but you have no memory of it that you can actually actively draw upon, maybe instinctually, right? But you have no memory. You have no memory of being born. So, were you born? Right? Were you born? If I went into your memories, if I had the capacity to enter your memories, were you born? Prove that you were born. Johnny's Chop Shop, exactly. Way of the brush. Be kind, spread love. And that's what this show is all about. Spreading the love. Helping you guys enjoy the hobby. And occasionally, we might hit some deep subjects, sure. But there's nothing wrong with that, right? And don't be afraid. Once fear exits, and once you stop becoming fearful of things just seem a little bit easier. Racism. And I'm looking at some people out there. Racism. It's all fear-driven. It's based on a superficial thing. Fear of another culture, xenophobia. It's just fear. It's fear. You want to be a more evolved human being. You want to think of yourself as a more evolved human. Does being fearful of things, does that make you closer to a monkey than it does a human being? Think about that. Mull that over in your skull. Fear being a primal instinct, an emotion, or logic. Human being. You tell me. If your life is governed by fear, I think you lean towards the less evolved. But that's a bias. Oh, man. Dimitri, will there be a voice chat after the show? No, because I'm way over time right now because I'm leaving. The family and I, we're heading out for dinner and we're going to go do some stuff. And I'm thinking maybe I'm going to go pick up a scale model kit. I'm thinking I'm going to pick up a World War II kit. What should I pick up? Leave a comment down below. By the time you write it, I'll have already done it, but... Sean Blake, man, this is the best stream I've listened to in a long time. I'm glad. I'm glad. That is That's good to hear. I mean, I'm glad people are actually getting something out of it. Dimitri Apted, stop propaganda of xenophobia being bad, you dirty elder. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, within the fictional context of the universe, sure, it's hilarious, it's funny, and that's the whole point of fiction, right? Is to explore these really kind of hilarious. Okay, Matt says I need a mouse. I'm not German, so I don't say it properly. But anyway, maybe I don't know. I'm a big fan of the E100 though, because I play it in World of Tanks. E100, a Tiger. I could go for a Tiger 2. I don't know. I'm gonna have a look anyway. All right, Tiger 2, Tiger 1, Tiger 2. Anyway, yeah, Tiger would actually be kind of fun. I'm a fan of German tanks. I like German tanks, although they were doomed to fail even before, because they're too excellent. German technology, as fantastic as it was going to fail because it was too, the tolerances were too tight. German engineering is precise and exact, and any little bit of grit and shit got into that stuff, and it completely mucked their machines. And that's a failing. It's not why they lost the war, but it's certainly not a factor on helping how they won or if they were going to win. But anyway, yeah, we're going way off talking. Okay, enough with the goddamn things. A 148 scale Tiger 1 Tamiya, yeah. Well, I'm heading over to Hobby Lobby, and they got a nice big assortment. Well, the one that I go to anyway in New York, and they got a nice assortment. So I might look for a kit. I think I'm gonna pick up a World War II kit. Aaron Seach, Panther, elephant tank. Yeah. Tigers. I kind of like the Tigers. It's either like a Sherman or a Tiger. The iconic vehicles of the era. At least on the North American side of things, we always think of the Shermans, Tigers, right? Even though like the Panzer was the common tank of the era, and what was the common American? Well, the American didn't enter the war. It was the British. The British were fighting most of that fucking war the whole time. Which is kind of amazing when you really think about it. Like, how close, Britain came to being defeated. Scary. But anyway, I'm done. I'm getting the hell out of here. You guys are just keeping this conversation going, and I can hear my family rustling about upstairs. So go do something. Take care of your brushes. Go take care of your brushes, and they'll take care of you. It's just like your children. Take care of your children. One day we'll take care of you. Hopefully, for God, love of God, I'm hoping here. Son of a bitch. They better take care of me when I'm old and gray. I think pretty much if at the point that I'm shitting and pissing in my pants and I can't remember who I am, yeah, go ahead. I'm of the mindset, go ahead, pull the plug. I had a good run. I'm done. If I start losing my shit, because at that point it's kind of cruel, It's like a dog. When your dog's walking around, he can't control himself. He can't see. He can't hear. Bodily functions. He doesn't do anything. It's, you had a good run, boy. It's time to go. And I feel the same way about people as well. Like, it's okay. There's nothing. You don't have to be afraid of death. You don't have to be afraid. Again, fear, right? Don't have to be afraid. Don't have to be afraid. Don't be afraid. Get rid of that fear in your heart. Get rid of it. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. Go hug a loved one. Go paint your miniatures. Something that makes you happy. Clears your mind. Recenters your zen. Whatever it is you got to do. I was going to go somewhere else with that, but I'm done. We've already gone all over the place. Go. Bah.